Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And we just got back from Philadelphia.
And I'm sick. But I'm okay now.
He got the flu.
Yeah, it wasn't COVID, thankfully.
But
we're back.
We are back, and we're here to talk to you about our experience at PAX Unplugged, which is a big board game convention in Philadelphia that centers around board games.
Exactly. It's our second time being there.
Mm-hmm.
Which was we went last year as well, and that was our first ever convention.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, to sum it up, overwhelming, but a lot of fun.
I think PAX will always be my favorite.
Yes.
Because it was our first, but also because it has a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes my heart very happy.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, this time around we were much more prepared, I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
We had more intentions, more scheduled plans, which was really good because I find particularly with conventions, because it's in such a collapsed time frame that everybody wants to do things and you really have to try and figure out how to do it.
It's like the ongoing joke. You're always like, we're gonna play a game later, and then we never play a game.
If you do, good luck.
We do sometimes, but I feel like that's our ongoing, we gotta grab a game together. We're so excited. There is the mutuality there. It's just the time goes by so quickly.
Yeah.
But I think something that we did really well this year, and for anyone going to conventions, I would highly recommend this, is once you're in the hall, it's so hard to leave. To get a drink or grab food. So this year we made intentional meal and food plans with people. Yeah. So we had an hour, we're gonna go get lunch, we're gonna go get some water, just step away from all of it. And that was really nice because we're able to catch up with people, but we're also able to stay hydrated and make sure we eat, because there's days where we did not.
Yeah, exactly. So this video, basically what we're just gonna do is we're gonna talk about some of the highlights that we had at PAX, and then we'll end it off by talking about the games that we brought home, which was maybe too many, but we love games.
Tyler had to sit and jump on our suitcase to try it. And there may or may not be some casualties and some bent boxes as a result of that.
Over exaggerating, it's fine. All the games have survived, so Ilya's just,
Well, we'll kick it off with our highlights. What were your favorite parts of PAX U?
I want to start it off actually by saying my least favorite part, because as you know, we're from Canada, so we were traveling down to the States, and we have to go through Toronto, which is one of the main airports that fly out. And unfortunately, our flight was delayed from Edmonton to Toronto, which means we had a very small window to catch our next flight to Philly. Fortunately, that flight was also delayed, so we were like, okay, cool, we'll make it just in time. We'll grab that plane, make it to Philly when we had planned on making it to Philly, maybe just a couple hours later. No, that did not happen. The flight from Toronto to Philly got canceled, and it was we won't go too much into it, but it dragged out a lot, and we thought it was gonna happen.
Delays.
Yeah, it was more just delay over delay over delay, and then finally it canceled. And so we didn't end up leaving until the morning after. So we didn't get into Philly until 12 hours. No,
it was
longer
than 24-hour trip by the time. But I think looking back at it now, it's a little bit funny because it did feel movie-esque. Because I remember we were told to wait for our luggage, which we weren't supposed to do because they were just going to reroute our luggage. But in the back there was somebody crying, in the other back there was somebody upset, and it felt like a movie moment of
are we gonna
trapped.
make it?
And at the same time, my mom texted me. She said, "Toronto, worst airport in the world." And I just remember cracking up because I'm like, what can you do in those situations? But we made it, which was wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it's anybody's fault, obviously. I'm just it put a damper on the beginning of our trip. But once we got there, we realized it didn't really matter because we were there, we were hanging out with friends. And of course, the first people we get to see are Jeff and Jamie.
Is that your first highlight?
Uh-huh.
Okay, say more.
I was so happy to see them. They're just they're such great people. I just think that they're one of our closest friends now, and it's just been this blossoming friendship over the years. Over the year, I suppose, which is wild to think about. But yeah, we were able to reconnect. We were able to catch up on everything, not just board games, and then we were able to sit down and play board games. So that was really nice. Got to go to brunch. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it was just nice to be greeted by people we already knew. So it was like we're ready to do the rest of the con kind of thing.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. I think that my highlight's similar in that sense of just, but more overarching is just the people. Because I think the first year we went, like we met Jeff and Jamie for the first time at PAX last year. But last year was such a surreal moment because all of these digital friendships and people we've talked online all these times and all these years, or like the year past, we got to meet all at once, which was it was such an overwhelming yet like calming feeling. Where this year it was like half of reuniting with those people, but then still meeting a lot of new people as well. So I think it was just, to anyone who said hello to us, to anyone who spent some time with us, just thank you so much. It means the world. We do really mean it when you say like, just stop us. And I remember somebody actually called out to us and we stopped and we had such a good conversation. And we really appreciate, like, those are the moments that really, really fill our cups. And we want to hear about the games you're excited about, why you're here at Philly, what's happening in your life. We want to get to know you better. So thank you to everyone who said hi to us. Yes. Even though we looked very tired and we're a little awkward sometimes because we're definitely running on very little sleep at most of the convention.
At least for the first little bit, I had caught up on my sleep because I wasn't feeling too well on Saturday, so I stayed in for the morning, but that was it. I think the other highlight, Big Gay Dinner happened, so that was a lot of fun. Last year, Rose Gauntlet put on an intimate dinner where it was like probably like 15 of us, and this year like more and more people were getting involved, so we actually got like a bigger space. There was a lot more people that we were meeting from basically, well, the LGBTQ community, and it was just like amazing to see like everybody come together and celebrate us kind of thing as a whole community, and that we're here, we're not leaving, and
we're here.
Exactly, and everybody deserves...
HBO show.
Yeah. Everybody kind of deserves their space in this industry, and it was really neat because it was not just content creators, it was not just publishers, there was a bunch of different individuals from all sorts of different areas in the industry, and that was just a lot of fun to connect with them. And of course, we got to play games.
Yeah, it was very cup filling. We got to make little ornaments as well, which was a tradition that we started last year. And the food was amazing. It was so good. Yeah. So it was just like really wonderful to spend, because that was like probably the moment that I was waiting for the most, because I feel like all the other aspects of convention, you're just running and you're waiting, and here it was just like you could breathe, you could relax, and then just say hello to all the wonderful humans and share laughs, share games. And we got to play I got to play a full 6-player game of Fit to Print, which was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. But there's a lot of other games that we played there as well, and it was just wonderful.
Yeah. Overall, again, it's just like meeting all the people that we've already met before and hanging out with people, and then even individuals like flagging us down who watch our channel. They would come and say hi to us, and it was really nice to just like hang out, chat with them for a bit, and even if we didn't get to play a game, just like have that opportunity to connect. And I hope we get to keep on doing that, because I, as nervous as I am and as anxious as I get, I do really like meeting new people, and I do really like making more friends. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. Yeah.
Are you cutting off our highlights?
I think that
I have two more highlights.
A general highlight. I don't want to make this. I don't want to make this like an overwhelming video, just like us recapping.
Here's everything we did. Okay, I have two more things. Really quick.
Because there is a lot, and I think there was a lot of people that we were able to hang out with, and a lot of moments we were allowed to like cherish. But at the end of the day, I think you actually took a lot of B-roll, so it might just like show up in that.
That's true. I have two quick highlights.
All right.
Rapid fire. We got to do a learn and play event.
Yes.
Which was really cool. We taught fun facts in Fife to many people, and it was such an interesting experience because we've never taught games essentially not at the
big
table.
Of a crowd.
Yeah, because everyone would have different questions, and then we miss one thing and we have to like tell everybody, and it was such a really cool experience. And thank you to everybody who came out to that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And both those games are absolutely wonderful. Fun facts in Fife.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the second highlight I had is one of the days we did not have a lot of time to eat. And we were so hungry, and then we had basically dinner plans, and we started walking. And then where there was a lot of food places, there was a parade.
Oh, yes.
And the parade essentially just blocked us from crossing any streets. I think I've never like experienced of like I'm so hungry.
It just like cascaded. That whole experience I think was just hilarious. So
I just remember like zombie walking because we go somewhere and be like 2.5 hour wait, and we were just like we just want a sandwich, like anything at this point just to get me by. And then all of a sudden there's a Christmas parade, and I'm just like, we're just not meant to get food, and it was just so funny. We ended up finding a really delicious place.
I thought the food that we ended up finding.
Yeah, it was great, but it just took us a little longer. But in the moment, like I think it's one of the things that probably my biggest memory highlight, because I'm like, this could not be more funnier.
Yeah,
so
it was pretty great. Yeah, shout out to the Flat Out folks for going through that whole experience with us, because that was a lot of fun. And looking back, it's just like, yeah.
And we also classically pulled out, where should we go? And all of us like huddled in a circle, and no one would take initiative. So we were like, let's walk this way.
Walk this way. Yeah. And we would like take turns walking into the restaurants.
Occasionally, like one of us would get enough energy to be like, let's try this one. But it was wonderful at the end, and it was great.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's a quick 1 minute B-roll of anything that we didn't talk about that maybe kind of fits in, potentially. But here's our PAX experience. Now, you may be wondering, what games did we acquire at PAX Unplugged?
Yes.
Well, we're going to do a rapid fire of PAX Unplugged, bringing over to Canada games of the future.
Yeah, so like, to preface this is like, we pack an extra suitcase so that we can bring more games back, because we understand that like some of the games are difficult to get in Canada. Other games, they might not be quite out yet, or there are just we've been working with publishers, so we'll bring some games back that are maybe prototypes, that it's just easier for us to reconnect there, or connect at PAX so that we can bring those games back. We were definitely pushing ourselves, pushing the limits of what we were able to bring back this year, that's for sure. And
Tyler had to sit on the suitcase. I didn't take the video of it, but there were moments we thought we wouldn't make it.
And there was we were this close to having to buy another suitcase. Didn't have to do that. We managed to fit it in, and our total haul we'll just give you the number, was 21 games.
21 games.
21 games. And like Ilya said, we'll just do a rapid fire about some of the games that we brought back.
Well, and then a huge shout out to the Air Canada attendant who let us send our bag even though it was 2.5 pounds over. Because I'm like, if this bag opens, it's just going to go...
Yeah.
Well, we'll kick it off with, I've assigned Tyler the task because it was one of the last days, and Oink games are really tough to come by here in Canada.
Very tough.
So we're like, you know what, Tyler? Go to the Oink booth, buy what you want to buy, what appeals your eye. I want these 3 games. And he brought back 5.
Brought back 5.
So let's quickly show them.
Yeah. So the nice thing about these ones is they're very like compact. So these were like very easy for us to just like go out and get. Oh, all right. Ilya's. Yeah. Okay. So from left to right, we got masked. What was this one? Masked Men.
Masked Men.
Okay. Masked Men. Town 66. Fake Artist Goes to New York. What's this one called again? Startups and Make the Difference. And those are just like the ones that we were recommended and also that we had heard a lot of good things about. We already own Scout and
Deep Sea
Adventures. So these were just the 5 that we wanted to add to our collection. There are definitely like more out there that probably need to be added to our list, but this is what we went with this time around.
These were the 3 that I wanted
because
I've heard really good things about them. We already got to play these 2. Fake Artist New York is incredible, very much fun. And I really like Town 66. It's a fun little, you build a town, columns and rows, you can't place things that are already there, so it's like a nice little brain crunch place tiles. Great solo mode as well. Don't know anything about Masked Men.
Yeah, this one was just recommended to us, so I saw it, and like Oink Games had like a sale going on that like if you bought more and you bundled, you get a better deal. So I bought Masked Men on recommendation, and then the other one that I was... what about... This is Startups. We already talked about.
We haven't talked about Startups.
Oh. Well, this is the other one that you recommended. This was on...
I don't know anything
Ilya
about
had heard about this one, so
but everyone
like,
talks about Startups.
You need to pick Startups up. So I was like, okay, that's good. So those 2 are on recommendation, and then this one was actually like getting a lot of hype at PAX.
I think it was released there as well.
Oh, was it? Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. But for any of you who know like the side-by-side spot a difference pictures that you used to do maybe as a child.
Or as an adult.
I don't know. I remember doing them as a kid a lot. And they've made a game out of it. I was super skeptical about this game, and let me tell you that this does not disappoint. It like exceeded my expectations. So if you're looking for a game that is like nostalgic of that kind of activity you used to do as a child, this is definitely a game that you'll want to pick up. I have had a blast playing with it, and we were fortunate enough to play it with Rodney at the airport, who also had the same feeling. Well, I feel like he had the same
all very skeptical.
Yeah, and then we all started playing it, and we're like, this game is amazing, and we were literally in this food court area just like laughing, having just like a great time, and this couple came over and like even said that like, wow, I wish I was having as much fun as you right now. So
we're just living it up in the airport.
Yes.
I think the key is to have your expectations really low, because I think all of us, we had such low expectations for this game that when we played, we're like, wow, because even the way the points are scored, the way that like everything is done in this game, it's so good.
Yeah. Like my biggest concern was it would be so obvious what the differences were, but it's so hard to tell. And they've got this like screen that goes over top of it, which makes it even harder to tell.
So you can't see like the pen.
Yeah, exactly. You can't see different lighting glistens or whatever it is. But yes, those are the 5 Oink games we managed to pick up. Happy with our haul there.
Make a difference.
Make the difference.
Make the difference. Now, we love our 2-player games.
We do.
Arcane Wonders was very generous enough to give us expansions.
Yes.
To Airland and Sea Ononitama. And this one sounded really cool because it adds, I think, asymmetric element of it.
And hidden movement.
I was very sold on it from the start. So very excited to try both of these because
I both of these games I actually enjoy. It's just I thought there could be more, and there's like maybe some balancing things, and I'm hoping that these expansions do exactly that. So I'm very excited to play those.
Yeah. Okay, up next, Hachette Game managed to save us a copy from a demo from the Learn and Play that they did of
Turing Machine.
And Tyler and I love deduction, logic puzzles, and those types of games, like Search for Planet X is our jam.
Yes.
So this was like a little bit of a lighter version of Search for Planet X, I think. No?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, it's along the same veins.
Along the same veins. Like you're trying to uncover using various clues of the logic, and here you're talking to the computer. But we already played this one many times, and I love it.
Yeah, they've got like also an app that has way more different.
Yeah, the web-based.
Like the web-based. It just it gives you the cards that you need to like run through the simulation and guess the code. But the cool thing about that is there's a daily one.
Daily challenge.
And you can do like the daily challenge.
Who needs Wordle?
Exactly.
When you have Turing Machine Daily.
And this one, obviously, like, well, from what we know, is it's been like very hyped up and it met the expectations. We're very excited about it, and like Ilya said, we're really big fans of logic puzzles. So when this game came out, we were trying to get a hold of it. We couldn't, and PAX U was able to provide. Yay!
That's Turing Machine. The next up, we did meet with Weird Giraffe Games, and we recently backed Wicked and Wise, actually.
Yes.
The game from Fortessa and Beth Sobel, and these were 2 additional games that we picked up as well.
Yes.
Big Easy Busking and Gifts of Tulips.
I remember seeing Gifts of Tulips on Kickstarter.
Yeah, we almost backed it back in the day. Yeah. I think we reached our quota for the month.
Yes, yeah.
But Gifts of Tulip is a really clever card game, and I got a quick demo of it, and I'm very excited to play this, especially with higher players too. Like there's just a lot of really clever mechanisms, and it's gorgeous. And who doesn't love tulips? And then music-themed games, Big Easy Busking, you're essentially putting on shows in different spots, which is really fun. And it's another card game of tokens and cards, and I'm very excited to play both of these.
Yeah, their logo is so cute.
It's a little giraffe.
I love it. But I'm very excited about these games. They seem fairly easy to introduce and easy to play, as they are just like card games. And yeah, really excited to get them to the table. The next one we probably want to talk about, well, we're going to talk about, is from Lucky Duck Games, and it's called Oros. And essentially it's like this civ build type of game where you're making, you're a deity and you're making your like presence known kind of thing. You're building your little empire with all your civilizations, and it looks super, super cool. It reminds me of this video, like this indie video game. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got like the similar premise of it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, please. Yes, please. The difficulty on it doesn't actually seem too intense. It says that there is like, it's high strategy and a lot of player interaction, which I'm very excited about. But the best part about it is it Lucky Duck who always does this? Is they do like their stars, or is it Cosmos? Anyways, some companies will do this in the back of their thing where they'll like put stars out of 5, and the random chance on this is like 1 out of 5, and I'm a big sucker for random chance.
Well, no, there's 1 out of 5.
Yeah, well, or some random chance.
Very limited.
So this is something that I'm very excited to get to the table. It's just like this unique like type of art as well that I'm very behind.
Yeah, and it just hit pre-order. It's coming out in January. This was actually the floor copy that everyone got to demo, so we're really grateful to have and are very excited to play it. I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah. That's Oros.
Now, the next one I want to chat about is Mille Fiori, which I don't know if I said that right, but you know, that's the how it's going to be said.
I did it. Okay.
Right side up. So this is a Rainer Knizia game from Devere Games, who has been on fire lately. There has not been a Devere game that I have not enjoyed. So we were really excited to grab a copy of this from Devere Games. Thank you so much for sharing this along. And I read the rulebook on the plane, and I'm very excited to play it because essentially it's just a drafting game where you're placing your little glass pieces. And where the magic in this game happens is the way it's scored. So it's the player interaction between scoring is what makes it really, because if you leave someone unattended in an area, they can just run away with it and get a ton of points. Yeah. So you kind of have to balance between 5 different areas. It's beautiful. It plays fairly quick too. I think even with a higher player count, you'll still play the game in under an hour, which is really exciting because it's simultaneous draft essentially.
Well, it says 60 to 90 minutes, so under an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, I guess. We're gonna rush it, but we have not played this one yet. But with how gorgeous it is, with the way that it's the mechanics are, we'll definitely be talking about this one soon.
Oh yeah, some of these games we definitely haven't played yet. We've just got them.
We just got them.
Very excited about them. Milfiori.
Yes.
Fiori. Okay. That's that. And the next couple of games that we want to talk about are from WizKids, which I'm pretty excited about. And they're Featherlight and Remix. And basically both of them... Okay, hold on. Remix, let's start with. It's like Fantasy Realms. I always get this wrong. It's Fantasy Realms, right? Okay. I always mix it up with another game.
What do you call it?
I think Star Realms and Fantasy Realms. I just mix up because they're both card games.
They're realms.
Like, yeah. Anyways, Remix is a take on Fantasy Realm. It's not a reskin, which at first when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. It's just a reskin.
Realms. It's not.
But it's not, because the interesting thing is you actually have to like build a story in your hand. Mm-hmm. So in order to like successfully score yourself points, you have to have a villain and then or potentially more villains and then hero cards and like supports,
like that.
Locations type thing. So you're making a story in your hand, and then the cool thing about this is their cards transform. So you have like one card just like right side up, but it can flip and turn into another card based on other things, which I found very, very exciting. But in essence, it plays very similar to Fantasy Realms. It's just Marvel based and you're building that story, so I'm very excited to play this.
I like the story element of it, because I feel like even at the end you can be like, these three heroes faced this villain and they did this. And then you get the points as well and hopefully win.
Yes, and WizKids was like super, super generous. Like they did this like, what would you call it? VIP program thing where they like sent out to media and they're like, come by, say hi to us, we'll give us a tour of your booth and we'll get to know you a bit better. And Will, the fellow who is doing all of that, did an amazing job at like getting to know us a bit more, showing us the games that were coming up and just like really catering for the content that like we were making. And I really appreciated that.
We saw this super skill pinball for the holiday with Elf, which was really cool. But I had to also buy this game.
Yes.
Because Featherlight is also, it's a little bit similar to Fantasy Realms as well. But basically you're playing different feathers and there's a collective nest. And the nest influences your hand at the end of the game.
And your hand also scores your self points.
So, but I honestly just had to get it for this bird.
It's so cute. It's
Look at this bird.
It's like this.
What would you name it?
Theodore. Theodore.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be chatting about both of these
shortly. Somewhere along the lines.
Because card games are great games. Woo. Now, one of the ones I'm most excited about, and I just cannot wait to play, and Tyler's been sick so we haven't been able to play it yet because it would have literally hit the table the day we got back, is...
Revive.
Is Revive.
Yes.
So we got this passed on to us, and I'm so excited about this game. Mm-hmm. First of all, the designers behind this game are simply incredible. There's some folks from Chili Fox Games and some other games as well, and the games that they make are just top notch. Mm-hmm. And the theme of this game is really cool because you're essentially just reviving civilization. Yes. And there's a campaign mode, but the campaign is very kind of streamlined in the gameplay, so you don't have to kind of play with the same people. But the core game by itself, without even the campaign, is wonderful. Mm-hmm. I was reading the rulebook on the plane, and at first I'm like, seems very similar to like every other Euro game, and like there's not really anything here. But the more that I read, I was like, wait a minute.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I was just like, Tyler, look at this character. Look at this mechanic. Look what you can do if you do this. So I've been so stoked to play it, and I'm hoping we play this in the next day or two because I just know he's going to really like it, and I'm going to really like it, and we're just going to play it all the time. Mm-hmm. I definitely think this has potential also to be one of the top games of my year. If we play it.
Is it going to be released this year?
If we play it, whatever we play counts.
Oh, it has to be released this year.
It has to be released this year. Well, it's released in the UK.
Mm-hmm. We'll be covering this a little bit more.
Make it somewhere else. Yeah, but Revive is absolutely amazing. A Porta Games. Can't wait to tell you more about this game. Hype.
I don't actually know a whole lot about this game, so I'm probably going to let you talk about it. Mm-hmm. But Cosmos, we met with them, and they were very, very excited to pass us along this game called Carrack.
Crack. correct?
One of those.
One of those. So essentially, this is a game that's a mini dungeon crawler. You're building your dungeon out. Yeah. And I think what I really like about this game and what I've seen is it's a really good step up into some of the other heavier games that may be a little bit daunting to people. But here, you basically build your dungeon as you go, and then you'll have a certain amount of lives, so you can encounter problems, lose lives, come back. And you're working competitively, which I feel like a lot of dungeon crawlers are very cooperative.
Most times, so I feel like, yes.
I'm excited about this one. I'm really excited to get to the table too, because it just looks really friendly and easy to introduce to people, and we love games like that because we want to aim to have more folks join our wonderful community.
Yes, because games are fun, and there are games out there for everybody.
Yep.
So that's Carrick. We will probably cover this in some manner. It is, it just needs to be opened.
Up next, let's talk about some Czech edition games.
Yay.
So we have Starship Captains and
Deal with the Devil.
So Deal with the Devil is a 4-player exactly. And that's what it says in the box. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And at first, when I read about this game, I wasn't too sure about it.
Yeah.
But then I think we saw Nathan at Chuck's, and they did such a good job at explaining, but also just like showcasing the little details that make this game really shine. And even though it's 4-player exactly, I am very dedicated to find 2 other friends
that will play this game.
Numerous times, because this is a game that you have to play more and more and kind of build almost like an in-game meta. Yep. And then that's when the game really shines.
Yes.
And I really respect this 4-player only, because I feel like lately there's been, you can try this variant and it's not really meant to be for the variant, it's really meant to be at this player count. So I appreciate the dedication, and I'm very excited to play it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see other people's experience about this game. Like Ilya said, it is exactly 4 players, so the gaming group, getting those 4 people together, is probably going to be a little tough for us. I am really excited to get that going once we do find the people to do it. And essentially, like, there's a lot of roles in this game that you'll be taking on that are necessary for this game to like flow properly. And from what we had heard about the game is exactly that. It didn't seem to flow very smoothly when it shifted to 5 players, when it shifted to 3 players. So I'm very excited to get this to the table, and I am very, very excited that there's like a full commit to this 4-player. Although difficult, I understand the difficulty in making it exactly 4 players, but we'll see once we get it to the table.
And the other one, Starship Captains. I think this is the one we've been really excited to try for a while now. We've been watching Avenue 5, and I don't know why, but Avenue 5 is just in my head. This is what it reminds me of completely. Yeah. But it looks really friendly. There's little characters that you move around. There's ships that you move around to fulfill certain goals. There's a lot of mechanics that I really enjoy, and I just know once we play it, it'll probably be a game that I really like.
Yeah, it is also like there's a lot going on in this game, but it's very simple and like all comes together onto your player board, which I really appreciate, because even though there are a lot of decisions you can make, there is like a center point to it all, and I really appreciate that, just being able to like come back to one space and focus on like what you're doing, but then also like branch out to make sure that you're occupying what's going on in the main boards. So very excited about this. I like the different colors. They also have this cool thing where they've molded the characters for different colors, and like they're randomized, so you've got like a variety of different individuals, just like within every box. So all the red meeples in this one are different from another box that have red, or another red, and then so on and so forth. Yeah,
I thought it was just within the game.
Yeah, they've randomly put in the mold for the colors. So I'm really excited to see how that.
Very inclusive too.
It adds an inclusion diversity thing, which I really appreciate. So I'm very excited about that, and it was just like an interesting fact.
Interesting fact.
So that's the Czech games.
Deal with the Devil,
and Starship Captains.
Now, next up is a prototype we want to talk about.
Yes.
And that is...
We're almost done here, actually. Woohoo! Pampero.
Pampero.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is a heavy, crunchy thinker from one of the developers, actually, of some of Vital's games.
Yes, yeah.
So it has a really similar box size, but also similar weight, and we're very, very excited to check this game out because it also has a really refreshing theme too.
Yeah, it's very like energy efficient. Hint towards the windmill here. Wind turbine, I guess. So I'm very excited to play this game. The art is also done by Ian O'Toole, which is like an instant sell for, I think, both of us. He just a talented human being. This is a prototype. As you may have noticed, it's a little torn up at the bottom. This was not one of the
This was Tyler's jumping on the suitcase.
No, this was not one of the casualties. It was like this already. But it also has no back, so it's definitely a prototype. And we're just excited.
No party in the back.
Yeah, we're just excited to be able to cover this game in some manner and keep an eye out for what that might be.
What kind of content do you want to see? Do you want to see a playthrough? That could be fun.
That would be intense.
Would that be intense? What do you want to know?
Yeah.
But we're stoked about Pampero.
Yeah. Yes. So our last
set of games
that we're going to talk about today that is part of our haul is from Capstone. We've got Terra Nova, Beer and Bread, and Rise. So
you want to start with Rise?
We'll start with Rise. Yeah, I feel like this is just
your type
I've already
of game.
started. So this is like an economic and social development game where you're building a city and just like navigating through like the well-being of your citizens. How you decide to do that is totally up to you based on the actions that you can take in the game, and you're basically trying to optimize that. And probably as many as you probably already know, I am a sucker for any kind of like economy games, and Rise hits that spot. So yeah, very, very excited about that one.
Then I'll jump into Beer and Bread. We love our strictly 2-player only. We did a whole 2-player month. It's definitely a genre we enjoyed diving into. And we actually got to play Beer and Bread today.
Yes.
And it's really fun. Cards have multiple actions you can take with them, one of the three, and then you basically try to acquire the most beer and bread, and whatever you have lower of is your final score.
Yeah.
So you're trying to balance the game throughout the time, but it's a lot of kind of tug and pull, resource management, going through different stages of growth, and also making sure that there's enough resources to do all the things that you want to do.
Yeah, I'm excited to explore that game a little bit more. I think there's a lot of strategy that can go into it. It feels very tight in the way that you can make decisions and how you decide to take the action that you take. So the fact that me and Ilya can just pull that game out and play it as a 2-player only game, very excited.
And Deep Print Games have been coming out with fire games lately too. I think they're definitely another publisher you should watch for. Even like Savannah Park, Rift Force, there's a lot of really cool games that they've done that people will enjoy.
Yes, yeah, and then last but not least, let's chat about Terra Nova, which is basically the not successor, but like the sister to Terra Mystica. It's a lighter version of Terra Nova, or of Terra Mystica, so if you are looking to get into Terra Mystica and are a little worried about the weight, the heaviness of the game, try out Terra Nova. From my understanding is that it gives you a really good sense of what the game of Terra Mystica could be like, but on a lighter node.
Yeah, because Terra Mystica is like it could be a 4-hour game.
It's a heavy game.
And like when we say this is lighter, this is not a light game.
No, it's not.
Like I think I've seen some people compare it to like Terra Mystica for toddlers. Like that is not the case whatsoever. This is still a heavy game, but it is within that like hour to hour and a half chunk where Terra Mystica can be 2 to 4 hours. So it takes that experience, condenses it, and I think from what I've heard and what I've read, it does in a really good manner. We'll have to play it and then tell you if what we're saying right now really adds up to that. But it's definitely not a light game. Like I would not even recommend throwing this at somebody who's not played games before.
Toddlers.
Definitely not toddlers.
Anyways, this is a 60 to 90 minute game. I think that, like Ilya said, it's got some weight to it. But what I really appreciate about games that do what Terra Nova does is that it gives an opportunity for people to understand whether or not they feel like playing a heavier game like Terra Mystica. If you truly enjoy Terra Nova, the next step should be Terra Mystica. And I think that companies that take the effort to make entry and pathways to heavier games, like that should be highlighted on its own. I think thank you, and I really appreciate Terra Nova for doing this. Again, like we haven't played it, so we can't speak too much to the gameplay itself, But very excited for what they're trying to do here and pretty excited to get this one to the table.
And you know what sold me already? Board game universes.
Yes.
There's more games in the same universe, which is one of my favorite things, and you know that about me because I've said it in every video that we can. I want to see more universes. I want to see universes grow within the game. So this is really cool. I'm really excited to play it. I think it'll definitely be another game that we're... Just so many games we got to get to the table.
Exactly. We love growing with universes as well, so it's really exciting.
Are we our own universe?
Wow.
Maybe.
That just got deep.
Well, and that is all the games that we have acquired through the means of PAX Unplugged.
Yes.
However, it is not all the games that we have played and seen.
Which brings us to a perfect transition. If you're interested in learning our top 10 board games that we experienced at PAX.
Or saw anticipated,
PAX,
or we know that are coming. There's definitely some games here that, like Revive would be the top of my list any day right now because it's the only game I can think about. But we're going to do a video coming up of some of the games that we saw at PAX that we're really excited about that we haven't really talked about here.
And of course, some of these games we haven't even played yet. We just know of them, how to play them, and we're excited to get them to the table. So some of these you could expect probably some content on, whether that be Instagram or through YouTube. But if there's anything in particular that you want us to see, that you want us to cover, please let us know down in the comments down below.
And how do you want us to cover it?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to see playthroughs? Do you want to see how to play? Have you just not found the content that you need from one of these games and you really want it? Well, let us know, or maybe we'll do that for you.
Yeah, we're happy to explore all of these games because they're definitely going to hit the table at some point.
We got them for a reason.
Exactly. I guess question of the day, any of these games speak to you in particular? Were you at PAX U? What did you end up picking up from the convention? And if not...
or is there any recent games that you've got that you're excited about that you want to share?
Yeah.
Let's chat about some new games. Let's throw some excitement in there. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video.
Exactly. If you did like this video, please give us that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here because we make weekly content on board games. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Exactly.
Bye.
Good job.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, my lover.
Michael, why don't you buy the whole song?
Goodbye, my friend. You looking the one?
Why not?
Are you taking a
Looking the
photo?
one.
It's a video.
This is gonna break. Uh-oh. Did I hit something? I'm too big.
Well, let us know when you get home. Yeah. And
Oh my god, this is gonna break and I'm gonna be so embarrassed. You know what, Jeff? I don't know.
Here. Actually, I can't.
Because this is good B-roll.
yeah.
It all comes to an end.
The B-roll. Goodbye, good B-roll.
Do you need help? Do you want help?